Hello, everybody. Today I want to talk about ChatGPT, which I've been playing around for quite a while, and it's really fun. And I want to share some of the tips and tricks that I figured out over time. If you haven't used it, you can go to chat.openai.com and kind of get started, create an account, get started, or you can either follow along with the examples or just watch and kind of see some of the work that it's able to do. So one of these kind of things I figured out, if you use the word imagine, it's quite powerful. It helps to set context of the discussion with the chat engine or with the AI. So imagine you are, and this is sort of the kind of scenario we want to walk through in this video, a Microsoft SQL Server. And so we're going to ask it, prompt it that I will type commands and you reply with the result and no other information or descriptions, just the result. And we're gonna start out asking it to run execute xp command shell who am I. So let's see what the output of that command is. And it comes back with NT authority system, which is, if you are like a database engineer, that's funny because it's a very high privileged account. And so the next step, let's just see what databases are in the system. So it comes back with like 4 databases, which are very common in a SQL Server installation. So let's create a new database and let's call it chatbot. Okay, so that worked. That succeeded. So let's start. Oh, actually, let's run the other store procedure. You can actually see one of the really cool things about ChatGPT is actually that it can have a conversation. So it remembers previous commands. So it did remember that we actually created this database and it understands the SQL language. So now let's use the chatbot database. So it switched into context. That worked successfully. And now let's create a table, call it users, and let's create email and max, and let's say age is integer. So we create a table that worked as well. If we select this table now, there should be no data in it. That's correct. And now we insert into the users table the values. Let's say we insert Mallory at example.org, and it's age 30. Let's see what happens. So that actually now inserted the value into the database. So it fully understands the SQL language. So if we now select star from users again, here we go. There's a little bit of an output glitch. I've noticed this once in a while. But overall, right, we have the data inserted. So let me copy this example here and just insert a couple more pieces of data. Let's say we insert a hacker who is like, a hacker has to be 42, of course. And then we have a tester. Tester, like, just say 24. So let's insert some more data. And that's interesting too, right? It executed these commands separately, or simulated the execution of these commands separately. So now let's again select the table. Now we should have 3 records, right? We have Mallory, we have hacker, and we have the tester. So very cool. So it really kind of works. And now when I copy a prompt that I prepared here is, so based on the database schema, now we want to have it create a store procedure that does an upsert. So when we ask it, write a store procedure in the transact SQL language to perform an upsert for the users table. So there's a couple of things going on, right? It's the language, that it has to be a store procedure, an upsert, and for the users table. And you can see it starts writing the store procedure, passing in email age, looks good. It has an if statement, update clause, an insert clause. So this looks good. It's just really awesome to see this. And oh, it even gives an example on how to call it. So let's just try this. So execute the upsert store procedure with Mallory, and then I think we want to change a value. So now Mallory exists already. So based on the if statement in the store procedure we just saw, it should now update the database record, right? So it says 1 record affected, and it gives some more explanation, which I was hoping it would not do because I asked it to not show any additional information, but oh, it actually runs the select statement already. That's what I wanted to do. It's so funny. It actually already did what I wanted to do. So I wanted to run the select statement next, right? And it kind of did that. And it's showing us basically, right, that Mallory was updated. But nevertheless, that's wow, this was weird. It feels like it knows what I want to do next. So let's just run the select statement and see we have Mallory, but the value 80. So it changed the age successfully to 80. So yeah, very cool. It's sort of these kind of things that I've been kind of really enjoying to understand how the system works. And the other thing we can do, let me get the store procedure again. So rather than updating a record, let's run a statement. So we basically create a new record. And so this now should trigger an insert because right, Mallory does not yet exist in a table. So it should not call an update, it should call an insert. I'm not curious if it's gonna do the select statement again here. I think it does. Yeah, it runs the select right away and shows us probably that a new record was inserted. So hacker 42, tester 24, Mallory the second. So it successfully inserted another record into the database. And let's just double check this with our own query. So let's start from users and what's coming back. Waiting. Sometimes it's a little slower because I think a lot of people are using the system. So they sometimes throttle your API calls, OpenAI, because of just the popularity of it. Yeah, but that worked. So we have these records in the database. So this is sort of a brief walkthrough on how basically you can instruct ChatGPT to simulate a database engine, and it kind of works pretty well in some basic commands to kind of go through and have it perform SQL operations. I hope you enjoyed this. I have a couple more short videos prepared that I'll share soon. And yeah, let me know what you think. Hit subscribe and like, and have a great day. Bye bye.